Today we're going to be learning how to classify triangles. Now, there are two different ways I can classify a triangle. I can classify them based on their sides, or I can classify them based on their angles. Let's look at how to classify a triangle by its sides. So, an equilateral triangle is a triangle that is all the sides are the same. So you will often see it marked like this. These dashes just mean equal length. So I can say 3, 3, and 3. Isosceles, that is a new word for 5th graders. Isosceles means two sides are the same length. And no matter how wide or how narrow this triangle is, these two sides will always measure the same. So I can say 2, 2, and 1. And that tells me that the sides that measure 2 and 2 equal each other. A scalene triangle is also a new word, scalene. It means no sides are the same length. So I can't mark any sides. So I could have 3, 6, and 8. And they would all be different measurements. Now, within these triangles, I can also classify them by their angles. And when I'm looking at classifying a triangle by its angles, I have to remember the inside has to equal 180 degrees. So one triangle I have is one I learned about last year. It's a right triangle. And I know this because it has one right angle in it. And an angle is worth 90 degrees. So I would figure out how much the other ones are worth by saying 90 or 180 minus 90. And that gives me 90. And because I know I can see that these two angles are equal size, they're equal size, I can say 90 divided by 2. 9 goes into 2, or I'm so sorry about that. 2 goes into 9 how many times? Yeah, 4. Minus 8 gives me 10. Bring down the 0. 2 goes into 10. Yes, 5 times. So I know that these are both 45 degrees. Now, an acute triangle means that all my angles measure somewhere between 1 degree and 89 degrees. They can all measure the same, or they can all measure different measurements, but they all are between 1 and 89, and it all adds up to 180. Another way I can classify a triangle is obtuse, because I will have at least one obtuse angle. Now this angle looks fairly straight, so I have to be very careful when I'm looking at my triangles. But an obtuse triangle measures anywhere from 91 degrees to 179 degrees. Let's look at some examples. Let's look at number 5. I'm going to classify this first by its sides and then by its angles. So 6, 6, 3 1/10 inch. Do I have two sides that measure the same? I do. So if it has at least two sides that measure the same, what would it be? Would it be a scalene, isosceles, or an equilateral? You're right, it would be an isosceles. And now I can classify it by its angles. 75, 75, 30. Are any of these numbers bigger than 90 degrees? You're right. Are any of these numbers 90 degrees? Oh, you're so right, they're not. So what would it be? Would it be acute, obtuse, or equilateral? Or right, I'm sorry. Obtuse, acute, or right? Yeah. It's acute. Let's look at number 6. 9, 12, 15. I think I'm going to classify it by its angle first because I see a tattletale. This little tattletale tells me 90 degrees. What angle do you know that is 90 degrees? Yeah, a right angle. Do any of these measurements match another? Nope. So what kind of triangle would it be? Equilateral, isosceles, or scalene? Yes, it would be scalene. Let's look at number 7. 11, 11, 11. Do any of these numbers match? Yes, they all match. So are they all equal? Yes. So it's an equilateral triangle. And 60, 60, 60. Are they acute or obtuse? Yes, they are acute because they're less than 60 or less than 90 degrees. Last one. 9 and 2/10, 9 and 2/10, 15 and 1/10. Do you think it would be isosceles, obtuse, or isosceles, scalene, or equilateral? Yes, it is isosceles because I have two sides that have the same measurement. Now, is my triangle obtuse, acute, or right? Oh, you're on it. It's obtuse. I hope this has helped, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye.